Hey everybody, welcome to the Tom Parsley channel. I'm Tom, welcome to the channel. And remember, just like Parsley, we get into a little bit of everything. So where are we today? So today, we're at Connetquot State Park, and we're on the Connetquot River. That's the river you can see behind me here. There it is, right over there. And behind me on the other side, over here. So the Connetquot River is about a 6-mile long river. It's spring-fed. So it starts way up north, and by the way, where we are, we're at Connetquot State Park, Long Island, New York, South Shore. This river, the Connetquot River, it translates from Great River, from the Connetquot tribe that were the original indigenous people in this area. And the river itself is 6 miles long. It's spring-fed. It starts way up north. And then it ends kind of down here, behind us here. You can kind of see the structures behind us here. That's the Connetquot Fish Hatchery. So we're on the hunt for salmonids today. We're looking for trout. We're looking how to raise trout, what a hatchery is, and a little bit of the local history of where we are today. So Connetquot State Park wasn't always a state park. It was the South Side Sportsman's Club. It started in the 1870s, so it's been here a long time. And some of the illustrious leaders, members here, was William K. Vanderbilt. So Vanderbilt was very popular here on Long Island. He had a mansion down in Oakdale at the end of this river. He had a mansion in Newport, and he had a mansion in New York. And if you watch the show Gilded Age on HBO Max or something like that, one of the characters is loosely based on the Vanderbilts, kind of that new money versus old money. So we're going to take a walk down the river, and we'll talk a little bit about fishing, salmonids, trout hatchery, and a little bit more of the local history of the park here. So come on with me. You can see where we just left. That was the bridge we were just on. So this is the river down over here. And what's really interesting here is that it's completely open for fly fishing. So we have these platforms, or what they call them, beats, all up along the river and all down the river. So this is just one of them, and as we move down, we're going to see more. All right, I also just put on a polarized lens on the camera here, so we'll see if that works. I just got it. I'm filming on an iPhone 16, so I have a clip-on polarized filter here, so we'll see if it works. So just kind of give you a sense of, let me turn you around here, all of these fishing areas here. These are, I think, made for handicap, because it's right near the parking area, which is right over there. So we're going to head over to the fish hatchery, which is all along there. So come on. I have some of the locals here. I think they want to see if I have any food for them. Let's zoom in a little bit. Hello. No, I don't have anything for you. Sorry. So we're pretty much at the far end of the fish hatchery. You can hear a lot of water rushing because I'm literally standing right over where all this water is. So back in 1870, this fish hatchery was first, oh, sun, let me get it behind, there we go. So fish hatchery was made in about 1870. This whole area, the park, is about 3,500 acres. So the whole park was originally sun again, I keep moving, okay. Was originally a rod and gun club. So it was managed for that, for fishing, for game birds, for deer, for, you know, all that stuff that rich people did back in the Gilded Age. So 1870, this was built, and this structure over here, let me turn you around here. Years ago, I used to come here as a kid, years ago. This little A-frame was, as it says right there, a boathouse. You used to be able to rent rowboats like that, and kind of go up and down this water over here. Again, all of this water was all constructed specifically to be part of the fish hatchery. So the eggs are reared in this building over here. This is just outflow here. This is another part. This is the nursery building. So when they're hatched and they're like this big, they kind of go in here. And then when they get a little bit bigger, they move to another part of the hatchery. That bridge is new. So I wonder if they're going to redo the boathouse and start renting boats again. That would be awesome if they did. Because I remember it was a fun thing to do, because there's a lot of good fishing right in here too. And down in here, you can see if this polarized filter is working. Let me switch hands here and see if I can rotate. Nope, that's worse. It's just slightly better. You could kind of see the bottom. I don't see any trout over here, but I did see some as I was walking down a little bit further. So there's some state workers over here doing some work. We're going to try to not get them on camera and bother. On a nice summer day, you could see lots and lots of people here because there's a vending machine for fish food, duck food down. I'll show you where it is a little bit further down. But it gets really crowded. It's kind of late in the day. We're about mid-November-ish, mid-autumn, somewhere around there. And it's late in the day, so there's not many people here. But this pool right over here is the brook trout pool. How do I know? Because it says it right here. So this is the salmonids that we were talking about. This is what we're looking for here. Brook trout is native. We like the brook trout. I don't know if you could see any in here, but there's a lot in here. I see them kind of bouncing around a little bit. Oh, there's a heron right up over there. There he is. Let's see if we can zoom in. I always love herons because they kind of look like pterodactyls. Oh, he's gone. Really big bird. All right, let's move to another spot. All right, we're going to try and zoom in here and see if we can catch him. But there is trout, too, right over there. So that my polarizing filter is working. So this pool here is the rainbow trout pool. Rainbow trout are not native to New York State. They're native out west, but they still do very well in our waters. So, I mean, you can, I guess, make an argument for why are we raising non-native trout rather than the native trout, brook trout, but that's just behind me, the brook trout. Let me see if I can get a better non-glare. No, that's as good as it's going to get. And then the brook trout is right over here. There are some in here because I see them kind of bouncing around, but I haven't seen one. Oh, there's one right down. You can't see it, too much of a glare, but they are in here. There's a bunch in here. So we're going to go to a different spot and see if we could get a better look at some of the trout. Geez, I had to walk through a gauntlet of Canada geese to get over here. Look, there they are. I guess they're all looking for food. I ain't got nothing. So remember I was telling you about the trout food? So right in here is the trout food vending machine. It's closed for the season, but bring a couple of quarters and get some trout food. So this is a little bit of the outflow. So it's really fascinating how the whole operation works. To dam the river, to make the ponds, to make the lakes, to contain all of the water for the trout. Now, one interesting thing, you might see this water pipe over here. So the fish hatchery was closed down in about 2009, I think, because they found a parasitic liver disease in the fish. And that was a really bad thing. So they had to close down the hatchery for years. And it was vacant, nothing was happening in there until they finally got another operator to come in. And instead of using river water, which could pass on that parasite to other native fish, which was a bad thing, they just pumped in groundwater. And that's what that pipe was, to just pump in groundwater to the hatchery to keep it clean. There's a little bit of history here of the Southside Sportsman's Club, when it was, you could pause it and maybe zoom in when we move it a little bit closer so you can kind of see what's going on here. But it's been here since the 1870s, and there's a little bit of some of the other infographic and some of the work they've done here. And on the other side, you could get a little bit more information on the Connetquot River itself. You could zoom in on that, pause there and zoom in if you want. And the other side is a little bit more of the life cycle. So trout are really interesting. Trout, other salmonids, they are, if I get it the word correct, it's catadromous. Catadromous is where they live in saltwater and come to freshwater to spawn, which is what salmonids do. Or maybe it's anadromous. I'll put it down here, which one is correct, catadromous or anadromous. But they return back to their original waters to spawn. So some of them get out and go into the ocean. All right, let's go to another spot. Fragile. It must be an Italian habitat. Put down in the comments what movie that's from. Come on, I know you know out there. So we're kind of on the back end of the fish hatchery. The fish hatchery is behind us, and in front of us is just all the Connetquot River that goes way down into Great South Bay. So we're going to look for some more trout, but I just want to show you the back end of the fish hatchery over here. So follow the signs, no fishing upstream, because all of the fish that are released eventually are all released from here. So the fish hatchery is right up over there. They all will come down this way. And let's see, I still got that polarized filter on. So let's see if, ooh, get my fingers out of there. See if we can adjust it a little bit. Cut the glare. I guess what I have to do with this filter is wherever I happen to be, like if I move a little bit, I still have to rotate it a little bit to see. But there are no fish that I can see here. So let's move down. Yeah, the water's moving pretty fast here. So I've always seen fish in this little area and in these little pools up here. Oh, there's some right over there. Let me walk over there and take a look. And of course, as soon as they saw me, my shadow, they swam away. But there was, I swear, there were fish right over here. So they just moved downstream a little bit. Just trying to look and see. It gets pretty deep right over here. So they saw my shadow and left. So we're going to go back. We were right over there. We're going to go right back over where that dam was. So this is fly fishing, what they call a fly fishing beat in New York State. You got to have a fishing permit. This is fly fishing only. So I did learn fly fishing, but I don't have the patience for this. And you have to kind of, fly fishing is really fascinating because you got to match the hatch. So whatever is hatching, whatever bug is hatching that they're eating, you tie a fly that looks just like that little critter that is hatched, is landing right on top of the water. And the flies that they use are so light that as you fly fish, as you cast out, it just kind of lays really soft right on the surface of the water. Trout comes up, grabs it, and hopefully you got it, reel them in, and you got yourself a trout. So I did catch a rainbow trout, not here, but all the way down at the end where the kind of salt water and freshwater kind of mix. And so these trout do end up going out into Great South Bay, go out into Atlantic Ocean, and they will come back. These are called sea run trouts. They will go all the way out and they will come back to spawn and lay their eggs somewhere in here. I do need to find some research if hatchery raised trout, because their eggs are not, they're imported, and the eggs for the brook trout, which are native, are also imported. So I don't know if hatchery raised trout will come back to their hatchery. I need to find some more research on that. If anybody else out there knows, put it down in the comments. So it's getting a little dark, sun's starting to go down a little bit. We may or may not see some trout, but we're gonna keep on going to see if we can find more. You see over here how it's kind of calm over here, but the water's rushing right over there. It forms these eddies, which kind of is the little calm water. That's where the trout like to hang out. And that's where you want to kind of aim your fly to land right over there. Or another way is to let it land in the current and just let it go down. There's another heron. Where'd he go? He's over there behind the trees. Just kind of pass by the trout so they could see the food pass by and grab onto it. It really is a very calm area. Oh, there's a deer, I think. Oh, no, it's just a bird. Thought it was a deer. Here's another spot that you could just kind of walk out to, and you have the entire river here. There's a cardinal moving around over there. You can kind of hear him, that chip, chip. There's a cardinal. I don't see any fish here, but I'm looking. And you can see these like piles of rocks. These were all put here. This is not natural. These were all put here to kind of slow the river down. You can see more of them over there on both sides. It kind of slows the river down or funnels water on one side, so it creates those eddies we were talking about before that's over there. And then it just continues, the river continues all the way down to under Sunrise Highway, which is a main highway that goes east-west on Long Island. It goes under Sunrise Highway, and then it continues into the greater Connetquot River, which opens up way wider, and eventually continues into Great South Bay, which connects to the Atlantic Ocean eventually. So 6 miles, Connetquot River, starts way up north, and it flows south. All right, we're gonna keep trying to look for some trout, but it is getting later, and it's getting a little bit darker. The sun's starting to go down. So let's continue on. Here is a trout right there. We're gonna try to See if we could zoom in on him, see if he doesn't move. There he is. Hold steady. I'm zoomed in 5x. But you see, they're pretty strong swimmers. I mean, look how fast that river is moving, and he is just motionless. I can't tell if it's a rainbow or a brook. I'd have to take them out of the water to see. The brook trouts are the native. The rainbow trouts are from the west, but they just happen to do really well in our waters here. So that's just one, but there's many, many others. I just don't happen to see them right now. Oh, there's one on the way other side. Let's see, I just saw him kind of come up right by the rocks over there. Nope. Don't see him anymore. Well, this polarized filter is kind of working pretty good. So you can see, I don't want to change hands because I'm zoomed in so much. And if I put my hand in front of the polarized filter, I'll just block the whole screen. So we're going to go to a different spot and see if we could catch some other salmonids. Actually, a few right there as I was just getting ready to move. There's a few swimming right there. One right there. I know it's a little hard to see, but they're there. Trust me. Oh, I'm out of breath. I remembered that there was an artesian well here with fresh water bubbling up. So I was practically running to get here while we still had light. So let me just show you some of the structures around here, and then we'll take a look at the artesian well. So here's a little channel dug over here. There's another channel dug over there. And there is the water. This one's bubbling really well. Let me zoom in on that so you can see it. So this water is coming up from deep underground, and it is fresh water, spring water, but I wouldn't drink it because this upper level glacial spring water here on Long Island is pretty polluted, but let me try not to fall in here. But again, that'll make good content if I did. So there's the spring water kind of bubbling up from the ground, and it's feeding this part of the Connetquot River. Where we were was part of what the water comes from way up north. So what we're seeing here in this artesian well, it's not too far, it just feeds a little bit more of the river. But let me turn you around so you can see this little pond over here. So this little area is all filled from that artesian well, just kind of bubbling up. That sign over there, there's a little bit of explanation, we'll go there next. And then the outflow is right here, and then there's another channel. This just goes right back to the river. I imagine when this was built 1870s-ish, this was a major source of the fish hatchery. So if we go over here to the little info sign, you can see a little bit of info about artesian wells and how they work and why they're so neat. So you could pause it and read it if you want, and then we're gonna head down back to the fish hatchery and finish up here. So you can see the bench here. This bench was never here. I was here about a year ago, and this must be new. This is from a Eagle Scout project. So let's give you some props there. Eagle Scout Dan Lowe, 2011. I remember being here and I didn't see it last year, but maybe I did see it. I just didn't register. Okay, so we're gonna head back down the trail here, and I'm gonna walk with purpose, so I'm not gonna videotape it because you'll be jumping all over the place. All right, back to our original spot here by this little waterfall behind me. So the sun has gone down behind the trees. Sun is definitely going down. So I took the polarized filter off because we're not gonna see any more trout here. But you saw them, they are here. We did pass a few fly fishermen too, coming back and forth. If you want to know more info on fly fishing, I'm going to put a link down in the description below for New York State, how to get a fishing license, the season for trout, and all that good stuff. So let me turn you around here. And I'll give you your moment of zen. So I wanted to give you kind of sense of where you are and the extent of the park and the trails. This is just going to show you a little bit of the fishing area, but let me see if I can turn you around like this. There, that's a little bit better. So this is going to tell you the entire park, all 3,500 acres of it, all of the trails. The white trail here is significant because this white trail is the Greenbelt Trail. The Greenbelt Trail goes about 35 miles from North Shore to South Shore, and it goes right through the park, which is really cool. And look, you are here. So we are right at the fish hatchery, right over here. And you can continue on all of these trails. Those artesian wells we just were, that's right over there. The Connetquot River kind of continues over here. And this area is pretty cool here. This is called Bunsey's Bridge. It's a neat little bridge that goes over the river. And as far as all the fishing beats are, they're all here, up here. They're all down in here, all the way down over here, all the way down. So this whole entire area is open for fly fishing, which is really, really cool. So I definitely encourage you to get out here and get to the park, because you can drive here. So you can see the parking lot's right there. So there's a road that you can come from the main entrance. You got to pay a fee to come in here, but if you have an Empire Pass, I think that's included. And this is where we started, right here at the fish hatchery. You can drive over here. There are bathrooms right over there. Right? Am I pointing in the right direction? Yeah, right over there. I think they're open because I saw some people coming out, which is always good. And then some of these houses, like this house over here, it's actually for state employees. So if you're a New York State Park employee, you get housing, which is pretty cool. You get to live here. Not bad. So let's go back to the fish hatchery and see if there's any fish. There's been a kingfisher that's been flying back and forth. It's pretty cool. I can't do the sound, but it's a very unique bird sound. It's got a very long beak. Very cool looking bird. And look at who came to see us. Well, hi duckies. So these are mallard ducks. The green head over here, these over here. These are the males. These are the females. I'm trying to see if there's any other types of duck here. But no, this is mostly mallards. They kind of hang out. People come here a lot to feed the fish, feed the ducks, feed the goose. I'm also trying to watch where I'm walking because, look, blah, gross, goose poop. But it's all good. So, again, these are rainbow trout, brook trout, nursery where they raise. Over here, nursery where they raise the eggs. The little fry is over in there. They come over here. They release them into the river, and people catch them fly fishing. So. I mean, again, you can debate whether or not we should be doing that, raising fish just to be caught. Not all the fish get caught. So a lot of the brook trouts, our natives, do end up getting out. They do get eaten by heron and osprey. That's why, if you notice, all of the fishing line on top here, that's to keep all the herons and egrets and all other shorebirds that would eat all the fish to keep them out of here. So yeah, so come here to the fish hatchery, bring your family. It's a fun place to come. There's lots of trails to walk through, and it's a great place to be. So, oh, the sun's behind me over here now, so we'll end it right here. So I want to thank you all for joining me on the Tom Parsley channel. I'm Tom. Just like Parsley, we get into a little bit of everything. Tune in on my next video. We're going to try to post a video once a week on Wednesdays. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell your friends. Pop down in the comments. Let's start a little conversation going on there. And I'll see you on the next video. A little unedited, raw bonus content. We're going to walk over there where those deer are. But I just wanted to get them on frame now, because take a couple of steps towards them and they are going to take off. See how far away we are? So be back in a second. So here's a little handheld. Oh, this way. Extra content. So the deer are going to eat the feed that's down in here. You see there's corn in here. You see these like little paint rollers that are here. Well, as they feed and as they eat, their head goes right through here, and these rollers are impregnated with permethrin, and the permethrin is going to kill any ticks that are attached to their ears, to their heads. So these paint rollers, pretty ingenious. These as they go in, they just, they rub on the paint rollers and they get permethrin that'll kill all the ticks that are attached to their heads, neck, ears, and whatever. So little feeding station here. This has been here a long time. So a little unedited, raw, extra content for you. There are a bunch of, you just can't see them, but there are a bunch of deer all around us here. Big open fields. Again, Southside Sportsman Club. This was all managed for just that purpose. Okay, now I'm really done. So I'm cold, sun's going down, and I'm heading back. Bye-bye.